Today we'll be looking at Polkadot, more specifically the DOT token which exists on the Polkadot network. We'll be performing some technical analysis in order to make some predictions on where we can expect to see DOT token go in the near future from a price perspective. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video. We're taking a look at the DOT token today. This is one we've never had a look at before, and due to the fact that I've seen it has been performing relatively well, I wanted to take a look and perform some analysis for you guys today. This is a token which exists on Polkadot, which is another network that is out there. So make sure you have a good look at that, because today we're purely looking at the technical analysis and charting side of things. But before we get into that, guys, please remember to leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy today's video. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. I'd also love to know your thoughts on Polkadot and the DOT token down in the comments section below. Let me know where you think it's going in the near future. But without any further ado, let's jump into the computer and start today's analysis. Welcome into CoinSpot, guys. If you're looking to buy DOT token or any other cryptocurrencies, there is a link down in the description of today's video where you can get in there and start buying right now. But let's take a look now at the DOT chart, and as you can see, zooming out, we're currently sitting at a value of $36.50 Australian. The most recent peak for this coin has just been up here a few days ago. That was sitting at roughly $42.34, so relatively good compared to many other cryptos. You can see its worth at the moment as well, about $35 billion. So this is one of the major players in the cryptocurrency space, so it's quite surprising I haven't actually looked at this one as of yet. As we zoom out, well, you can see that there has been a very consistent climb that has occurred from, the crashes that have occurred across the crypto market previously. I'm going to go into the daily chart just to give you a better indication of what that looks like. So here's the entire chart for Polkadot, and as you can see, its overall all-time peak was all the way up here, and that was about $65.94 Australian, and that was on the 15th of May. Then obviously we had the big crash of cryptos caused by Bitcoin, and we have been, I suppose, recovering from there. Taking a look right now, what we want to actually understand is where are the key points of support and resistance, and what is the key trend we should be looking at. Now, obviously, I think the key trend should be quite clear based on the candles over the past month or so. You can see we have been trending in an upwards direction. But something that is interesting is it looks like for this one in particular, this specific token, it looks like we have a relatively stable channel that we've been trading upwards in. A beautiful trading channel for this coin. And I'm just drawing this one out here to try and illustrate that a bit better for you. Just try and identify the key points at which we should probably be sitting on with regards to this channel. About there would be, I'd suggest, about right. As you can see, something that this crypto is doing as opposed to many others is it's relatively unvolatile in its climb at the moment. What we're seeing with many other cryptos is something like this. So if I draw it out, you see we start going up, then bang, you have your massive spikes, will go down, then bang, you'll have another big spike, which will continue upwards in this sort of a direction or something like that. That is not occurring with DOT. Instead, what's occurring is a slow and steady increase accompanied by a volume which is also slowly and steadily increasing as well. As you can see just down here, you can see probably the most volatile occurrence that has happened is in the past week or so. We had a few days where we tried to break out of the trading channel, not once but a few different occasions, but we fell back into it, and as you can see, we really did I suppose, come back, bounce off the support point, and then now today we're hovering above the bottom end of that channel. So if we just go back into the hourly chart just for your perspective, you can see that we are relatively trending pretty well in this channel. That time where we did pop out, it wasn't severe. We did see today that there was a dump and we went underneath a bit, but the strength returned and DOT continued to increase. So from that perspective, it's looking relatively good. When we put in place then some more indicators such as key support and resistance points, well, where do these sit exactly? Now, just taking a look at this, I am seeing a few different things. The first of which is up here, appears to be a key point of resistance for us. And you can see that due to the fact that the price has touched this point on numerous occasions across the board. So what I'm going to do is basically chuck in this as a key point of resistance for us. And in fact, that might be the target we end up moving towards. And that's sitting at roughly $52.59 Australian. We're not quite there yet, but that will be a very important level. So what's underneath that and what's probably a bit more relevant to where we're sitting at the moment? And I think, to be quite fair, it looks like we might have actually just touched that point in particular. And it's roughly at about this 42.67 mark. As you can see, we have touched it here. And as we start to move backwards, we can see there has been plenty of price action at that point. Plenty of, little dips that have occurred, for instance, where it does touch that line, moving down towards that angle. It does either, drop significantly or shoot up in the same manner when it hits that point, which indicates to us that is a key area. So looking at that now, what is happening? Well, it looks like obviously due to the fact that we tried to break out in the past few days out of this trading channel, this was a major point of resistance for us, causing us to come back into line, back into the trading channel, but nevertheless still trending upwards. So good stuff there. Where's our support point though? Well, let's zoom out a bit further, and I truly believe our key support point would be, it's actually smack bang on to where we dropped to. As you can see here, that key point for us was $34.69 Australian. We touched that exact point, and it was not only the key support point across the board, it was the key support point from our upwards trading channel. So very, very strong element of support there. We bounced off it and we start moving in the right direction. So very, very good stuff. Let's start bringing in a few more factors. How about the moving averages? So what we're going to do is bring in our three usual moving averages. Our 20-day moving average for our short term, our 50-day moving average, which will be for our medium term, and of course our 200-day moving average, which is our long-term moving average. And you can see that the long-term moving average, funnily enough, is sitting basically where the price is right now. That long-term 200-day moving average is sitting at 37.21. So basically that was touched today. It was broken through. It's probably why that dipped so much. But this area here is very significant with everything that's coming on. We can see our 20-day moving average currently sitting at $33.64 Australian is now moving up, which will act further as support. And we saw obviously a golden cross occurred a few weeks back of the 20-day crossing above the 50-day. What we want to see for a real breakout and something that I think would allow us to break through this key point of resistance up here at $42.45 roughly is seeing this 20-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average, really indicating that the trend is changing. Something like this is what I'd expect to see, but for that to occur, we need the price to basically stay above this 200-day moving average for an extended period of time. Now obviously it's not going to be too long because it's a 20-day moving average, but it needs to stay up there. So what I'm expecting is the price will get up there hopefully within the next week or so, because there's not much time, there's not much room left in this channel. Something will have to give. maybe we'll start trading sideways if we can't get out of it, who knows. But if we want to continue the upwards momentum, we really need to see something such as the 20-day cross above the 200-day moving average. All right, let's remove a few of these and let's take a look at the MACD. As you can see, we've actually just crossed from the blue line below the red line, indicating that we have diverged downwards. And basically that means that this big red candle right here is causing us to cool off a bit. We're not trending necessarily in an upwards direction based on this point here. Now obviously take it with a grain of salt. We are still well and truly in the top end, and as you can see, we have been trending upwards for a long period of time. You can clearly see that by the chart. I think it's just going to mean that it cools off. We could see this blue line come straight back up very, very quickly. So MACD indicating maybe we're cooling off a bit. I suspect potentially on the RSI, we'll be seeing something similar. We are, I suppose, in the overbought range here prior to that big red candle day. But once that did occur, we dipped and we're back in a standard sort of area. We're sitting at 62.22 points roughly. So not too bad right now. Or 62.44, sorry. You can actually see the indicator in bottom left where we're sitting there. So all in all, pretty good from that perspective. So if I was to set a price target, let's zoom out a bit. Where would my price target be? Well, I think my price target is to obviously first of all get above the 200-day moving average that was sitting about there, but more importantly we want to test this resistance point at 42.50 odd. We want to test it. We want to see if we can break through that and then start trending upwards towards the next point of resistance at $52.80. That will be key for us today and for the next few weeks. Will it happen within the next day? I don't think so. It's probably going to take a week or two for this to play out. But overall, we're still in the upwards trending channel and things are looking good for the overall crypto market. So unless we see a major dip occur, I cannot foresee that we would be, starting to swap trend and moving downwards. Worst case scenario, in my opinion at the moment, we will start trading sideways. Instead of moving in this upwards channel right here, our new channel would then be the key support and resistance points that we have seen between that $34.80 mark and the $42.50 mark. So within those sort of boundaries, but regardless, we're looking in a very strong position. We've consolidated a bit and we're getting ready for our next move upwards. That wraps up today's analysis, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Do you think DOT is going to continue on its upwards trajectory, or do you think it's going to cool off in the near future? Let us know down in the comment section below. And of course, if you did enjoy today's video, remember to leave a thumbs up as well. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. But I'll leave it there, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.